Right. So as you know, hope you received the syllabus part from us on the
Yeah.
technical support of the Windows administration part. So which includes of, working with the operating system, installing operating systems, and working with the user accounts, and also which we uh, work with some of the cloud concepts like how do we create a machines in the cloud, deploy the machines in the cloud, working with the user accounts and storage in cloud, because most of the users connect work from home, right? And today
Mhm.
every company is moving or migrating their infrastructure to the cloud. So on that, the basic parts which we cover inside the L1, and then we also get into how do we manage our disk, and how do we manage our local users and share resources in the LAN and remote management, how we recover the data by doing the backups and troubleshooting Windows environment, and also which includes inside this of the Linux part. Basically, as an engineer, so when you get an opportunity to work with Linux, so you have to know that how do you install the Linux, how do you create the users, how do you work with the basic commands. So that makes us to include this Linux also as a session inside this, and we also learn how do we make that Linux machines in the network and how do we log in through network. Okay, from Linux and also with the Windows environment. And then we'll see about how do we configure the email. And in configuring email, we'll work with the Outlook. Okay, as you know that Microsoft Outlook is very, very famous. 90% of the companies use these okay products. And then about how do we work with wireless networks? So configuring wireless network, and how do we secure the wireless networks? Then antivirus. Well, most of them know about how to install and work with the antiviruses. Then, so whatever we access the basic applications, and that today which we got in the Office 365. So people get connected to their Office network and work inside the Office 365. Okay, so as a user, they log in, they access some of the applications like Word, PPT, OneDrive, and they connect online for the meetings with the help of Teams, and they store the data, okay, in the OneDrive, okay, and they communicate, okay, on the Outlook. So this is completely a cloud subscriptions. So how do we work with this so that we learn inside this? So as an admin, how you create your users for your employees and how you make them to share their resources in the network. How do you assign permissions for them? So these things which you're going to get inside this. And like ticketing tool, as a engineer, how you receive a ticket and how you address the ticket. Okay, what are the different types of ticketing tools which you have in the market? Then, okay, this comes with the Windows administration part. Now, every engineer, okay, who works inside the organization as a technical desktop support, L1 support, these all the engineers are supposed to be work on the level one engineering. Okay, now all the systems which are all the devices are connected in the network. Now the thing is, all these devices which are connected, okay, in the network are supposed to be get connected to a device called a server, and from this server only they get all the services. Now, how do we create this server inside the organization? Okay, so technically we say this role comes as a system administrator. Okay, a person who works on the level of knowing the issue of the hardware, knowing the issue of the OS, knowing the issue on the applications, right? So these part comes here with the L1 support. Okay, so this part comes with the L1 support, and basically this we talk about desktop support engineers, technical support engineers, right? Help desk support engineers. These are the roles, right? And this completely comes with what is it, Windows 10 and 11. So whatever the operating system which is used in the organization. And here it comes on the server operating systems. Either the company go with the Windows environment, either the company go with the Linux environment, right? So as a learner, basically people start with Windows administration, right? And with experience, people move from Windows to Linux environment. Okay, as it is very, very demanding in the market, Linux administration also. But the thing is, you need to get a experience to work on this Linux administration, and that is very, very demanding in the market. Okay, and this technically we say as a L2 engineers. So in companies, sometime, okay, based on their role and their procedure, they might give L1, L2, and it might include some companies for network engineers, they say L2 engineers. For some companies, Windows engineers, they say L1 engineers. So based on their, own, what do you say, job description, they decide on that. Now our job is to work on this. Now working with server, what could be the company, the purpose of the company using their servers? One, as every company has to manage their devices, has to manage their users, right? So how do we manage this all the users? If it is 10, 20 users, we can assign some tasks and we can observe what they're doing, and we can restrict them, say that what to use, what not to use. But if I have more than 200 users, you cannot sit every time back of them and say that you are not supposed to do this or that. So how do you make them restrict? By accessing the unauthorized application or unauthorized data. So that can be controlled with some of the services, which includes like called Active Directory services. Okay, so with this Active Directory services only, today you are working with your laptops, either it is from work from home, either it is from work for office. You are supposed to download one application and install that application by yourself. But it says that you're not authorized to work with that application or download or install or do changes in your computer. Now, how it is get managed? Because this service, which is allowing, okay, to access the unauthorized, what do you say, applications or installations or changes. So for that, we learn about this Active Directory. So like we learn about some services, companies run their applications and web services, how with the help of this IAS. And also something like which we have, every system is getting an IP address and they're connecting in the network and they're sharing their resources. So for that we have some service called as DNS. Now every company require an operating system. Now you as an engineer, you go every individual computer and install this operating system, or is there any way for us to go install operating system automatically in the network so that hundreds and thousands of pieces get OS automatically, okay, at a time? So for that we have a service called WDS. Now this all the technology today which we are working is completely on the virtualization. Now you access your servers, you access your desktops, you access your application. One option is that directly you install that application and run that application from your local device, or that application is installed in some other PC and your system is not capable of opening that application or running that application. So for that, your company is giving some virtual machines where you can access and run that applications and get your required data. And for that, we are going to learn about something called, okay, Hyper-V. Right. So there are a few more services which includes it that we'll discuss more in detail while we are running our syllabus. So basically in companies, how it is presented is that we work with something called, hardware. So any queries till now what I discussed, I was just sharing about the syllabus part, nothing more than that. Dinesh and
Yeah, clear so far. Yeah.
Iriti.
Yes.
What's the nickname in
Understand.
Iriti? What people call you?
You can also go new directly.
New,
You can also call me new. Yeah.
new, right?
Mm.
Okay, okay. Done. So you said you are from Kerala or which place?
Maharashtra. Only
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Okay.
Mm.
Dinesh from
Yeah, same.
Same.
Pune,
both
Maharashtra.
of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So what we are talking about on the L1 and L2 parts. Right now to work with this, and now we see something about introduction to operating system. So in introduction to operating system, so working with this operating system. Okay. So we are saying about operating system. So generally we say hardware, right? So you all know that what is hardware, how you put it in a simple word. Yes, how you present about hardware is a physical device, right? Which we can touch
Yeah,
it.
physical devices. Yeah.
So how you present about the software,
Something that can make the hardware work,
right?
any application or software.
Right. So it is a set of programs, we say, set of instructions, we
Yeah.
say, right? Now every hardware, as you said, we require a software, right? So without this
Yes.
software, hardware cannot run. Without this software, the hardware cannot, okay, run. Now
Correct.
these software basically which we get into two types. Okay, so what are that softwares now? One we say about what is it? System software, and second one is called as what is it?
Application.
Application software. So what is the system software now? Is something called
System software is like Windows
yes,
OS
the
or
OS.
Linux.
Right. So how do you present about this OS? So what is OS means? It is an what do you say? Interface between user and what do you say about the hardware?
Hardware.
Hardware.
Okay.
Right. So this OS is a first software to be installed in the computer. OS is a first software to be installed in what do you say PC. Now
Uh,
this
One question here.
yes,
So BIOS is something that is the first one, right?
I'll come to that point about how where we get that BIOS part.
Okay.
Okay, so see, BIOS is not the BIOS which we say it is a mixture of software and hardware, right? It's a
Okay.
mixture of software and it is a chip which is already present in the
On
motherboard.
the, yeah.
It's a chip which is already present in the motherboard. So this is a BIOS is a software which we say which allows the computer to get started and run the that software to start the what is it to start the computer we require some devices like microprocessor. Okay, we require devices like RAM.
Mhm.
Okay, we require devices like RAM and we require some devices. So for that devices, what is a BIOS do? BIOS contains the basic software which need to start the computer. Okay, so we are not supposed to install anything and do anything over here, right?
Yeah.
So as you said, BIOS is the first one which you said to start the computer. But here, just my point is, we install this. It is the first software to be
Okay.
installed in the computer. Okay,
Installed. Okay. Got it.
by
Yeah.
ourselves.
Okay.
Right. So now this operating system which we're talking about here, okay, basically comes into different types. Now, what are the different types we have? So one we say about client OS, okay, and second we say about okay network operating system, and third we say about iOS, okay, fourth we say about RTOS, okay. So client OS, as you know, which is installed in okay, that is a Windows operating system which is installed in desktops and what is a laptops. And second thing
Mhm.
which we talk about network operating system. So these operating systems are the server operating systems, right? Server means again you get into what you have here? You have this Windows operating system, and you have Linux operating system. Okay, so in Windows, we talk about something on what is it? 2003 operating system, 2000 we call it as like this 2K8 operating system. We have 2012 operating system, 2016 operating system. We have 2019 operating system. We have 2022 operating system. Okay, so these are the operating systems of servers which are available in the market. You can install and run these all the operating systems. And then Linux operating system. Now, what are these Linux operating system? There are many Linux operating systems, like which we say Red Hat operating system.
Red Hat,
Okay, we say Ubuntu operating system,
Ubuntu.
right? So we say CentOS. Like this, based on your requirement, you can get this.
Oh.
Now, iOS is a operating system which is designed by Cisco. Now we have Cisco switches, okay, and routers, okay, in the market. This switch is also a hardware device which allows us to connect multiple pieces to form a single network. Now to work with this switch, okay, inside this we also give name, we also give password, we also block and unblock the ports as per the required communication. Now to work with that, we need this iOS. Okay, so this iOS, which are the devices which will be in the routers and okay, routers and switches. Now next is about RTOS, which is basically in mobiles. Okay, this is a mobile operating system. Now these levels, which we say generally as L1, we talk about L2, and we talk about what is it? L3, right? So like that, for an example, if I'm searching for a jobs like L1 engineers jobs in Hyderabad, right? So in this L1 engineers jobs in Hyderabad, you can see one of the company which I'm getting here. So their job descriptions, what they're asking about inside this. So if you can see here, something they ask on what is it? Minimum 1 year experience on Cisco certification. So this company directly getting into the part of this role. What is it? L3, and he's asking about this description, but the task might be not, directly making the engineers to work on that, but they should have that knowledge on that, what they take. Okay, so this is what is they're asking. And also you can see they're asking about PC maintenance, data backup, SMPS replacement. That means which is related to the hardware part. Okay, and something like which we say here. Okay, let me take this Naukri part. And inside this, if you get with some of the examples of L1, L2, and L3 engineers job is asking, let me take this L1 job. So inside this, let's see some job description, what they give inside this. Some might give, some might not. Now you can see here, skills required. And they're asking about Microsoft, asking about Linux and Cisco. So this company is mixing all the things. Now this comes with Windows part and Linux part and also the network part, right? That means they're asking about L1, L2, L3 simply that knowledge which they need to have on this, right? And if I take a few more examples like this, so inside this we have one, okay, L1 support job. So what is a JD for this? Now you can see here they're asking about to work with the in the L1 printer problems, desktop that L1 only, and basic LAN. So these systems are connected in the network, right? So when I give a print, when I give a access an internet, when I access a Wi-Fi, so they all comes under the basic LAN and server support issues. Now, when client is not able to communicate with the server, so what could be the cause? Where is the issue? Either in the desktop, either in the server. So they ask on that. Okay, and load and reload, start, build operations, installing and troubleshooting. So antiviruses, right? Installations. So this part they're asking. So finally, with one more example, we'll see for L1 support engineers here. Okay, here he is asking on directly the okay, it's not mentioned more. Must have experience in troubleshooting and is asking with Mac. So what is it? Apple operating systems, right? So like that, if I just ask for what is it? L2 jobs engineers, and here it might ask, it might present you on saying on L2 level of jobs. So let me check this. It is saying desktop on L2, uh, desktop and L2. Okay, which includes all the jobs is mentioning over here. Okay, directly is mentioning about hardware and software. Let me take one more. Directly saying you can see L2 support engineer, and here in the L2 support engineer is asking on this what is it? One on the customer email. Okay, acknowledgement and the CRM ticketing tools is asking Jira tool. So they are all ticketing tools, and then depth knowledge about MySQL database. Okay, and Linux. I think they might work on the database server with the operating system. So that comes into what is it? L2 level, right? So this is one of the JD which is asking L2 support engineer for this company. It is asking, and here what they ask on, they are asking about something. What is it? Client and server architectures and experience on SQL. These things, and then troubleshooting part. And here they ask about general Windows administration knowledge they are asking, and also networking, security, and PowerShell. So this is a part of Windows on the command line interface. So basically, when you want to apply for a jobs, so you can search on the name of L1, L2, and L3. Or in another way, we can ask for jobs on desktop support engineers, or jobs on what is it? System administration, or jobs on network administration. So in these three ways, so based on your requirement, you can choose for the or you can search for the jobs and I apply for the same. Inside this, we are going to learn about these two things. Clear? So any queries inside this? Yes.